happened? Now tell me about this trip that you just made to Austin. This was just a holiday. You were like not really, it was more of a vacation, or because this is a crazy story for me.
It wasn't just a vacation. I've been doing comedy here now in Belgium since I got here. I perform regularly. I perform on average daily. The scene is not as big here as it is in Austin, but you can still perform almost every day. And I thought I'm doing this American art form. I'm doing stand-up. I'd like to see what my stand-up is worth in the US, you know? So I was like, okay, I wanted to go do comedy in America. I wanted to take I have a day job, so I would have to use my holidays to do that. And I thought, well, where could I go? If I go to New York or LA, they're going to ask me to pay to do open mics. So what can I do? And I was looking, the scene was growing in Austin. There was a mothership had opened. There was a lot of buzz around Austin. So it's been like, you know, if you open YouTube, you see Austin comedians nonstop. So I thought, well, this looks like a welcoming up and coming scene. And I had been to Texas for tourism a few years ago, and I loved Texas. I had fun. Like, I thought it was a great place with good food and everything. And I thought, let me go there. If it doesn't work out, I can still travel around the US, do a road trip or something. And if it works out, then let's see. Yeah.
Wow. So you did your research. You were smart.
Oh, I had researched the whole thing. I had been contacting clubs and showrunners for like a couple of months prior to coming. But I had only managed to book maybe a couple of shows. I had a list of all the open mics with all the schedules and all the venues. I had plotted everything on Google Maps to see where I should rent my Airbnb, how to try, like which clubs were next to each other so I could have efficient evenings and everything like that. But I'll say this, like when I got to Austin, the guy that booked me on my first show, he saw my Instagram and he liked me. So he booked me. He's a regular at Mothership in Austin. He's Francisco Rincon. He took me a little bit under his wing. He took me from mic to mic in the first couple of days that I was there, just showing me around, just being really nice. And then so I landed on a Saturday, and on Monday I registered for Kiltonia, and I got pulled out of the bucket.
Wow, in 2 days.
In 2 days, yeah. So I was expecting to just have a rough time of doing open mics and just meeting people and just working the scene bit by bit, and then I just got a huge
on the second day. On the second day, that is crazy to me, because I live here in New York, and I see comics like busting their ass, and you made a very smart decision, because by researching ahead of time. A lot of people aren't too bright to do that, to go look ahead of time, to research, to be like, okay, is this cost effective or not? And
I mean, I've lost a huge amount of money for now. That's it. Austin is expensive. Airbnbs are expensive. Car rental was expensive. The flights were expensive, but I gambled and I guess I won the lottery, you know? So let's see, down the line, I'm going to make that money back, it looks like.
Yeah. No, you certainly are. You certainly are, I think. So, wow.
I wouldn't be on your podcast. Yeah.
You're going to be on my podcast. That's the part that I love. I'm so glad I got you on, though, because sometimes I feel like with Celia, I was chasing her. I was like, come on. And I was like, gosh, I've never had to chase a comic so bad.
She's been busy. Like I met her. I've done even a podcast with her, and we've hung out at green rooms and all that a little bit. And she's lovely, but she got so busy out of her Kiltonia appearance. It was been incredible for her as well.
And you've had multiple appearances.
Yes.
Multiple. That's just fantastic. I love this drive and I love this motivation. And I think if anybody out there is like, you know, they want to do something, they should kind of follow what you did. Is you took a moment and you researched instead of just gone there on a whim and tried it.
I was lucky. Like, so during that trip, I stayed there for 5 weeks, and one of my comedian friends from Thailand actually came, because he's a half Thai, half American, and his family lives in Chicago. And I told him, well, I'm going to be in Austin. Why don't you join me? His name is Chris Ralpheisen at Bangkok Comic. If you look for him online, he's hilarious. He's been doing comedy for 6 years, right, in Southeast Asia. And he stayed with me for 3 weeks. He didn't get the bucket pulled. So we came in prepared. we did our research. We're prepared comedians. We have material. We're working hard. We're grinding. Right. But you do end up needing that guy to just pull your name out of the bucket.
And that's the because isn't it a couple hundred people that put their name in the list?
Yeah, like 100 to 200. It was so depressing, to be honest. When I was queuing for it the first day, I was like, oh my God, this makes no sense. Everybody's desperate. Everybody's just waiting for that opportunity. On the other hand, it's beautiful because it is depressing because you're surrounded by so many desperate comics. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, the opportunity exists in Austin. In other cities, you don't even get to have that shot. So the fact that Kill Tony's based there, I think it's a huge deal.
I love the concept of his show too, because you do have you do have like that luck, and then you do get to see people. It's like going to an open mic live without wasting any, because you could see it from the comforts of your home. And now every week I've been I put it on and I get excited. But what kills me, I get kind of mad though when I see people that come in there that aren't prepared, that just do it for that, because I'm like, darn, you're wasting a comic's time. You know what I mean?
It was funny.
Like you. Yeah.
It is. On the one hand, I feel like they're wasting comedians' time. On the other hand, they make the show interesting, and they make good comics look even better. The last week in the episode that came out last week
with Adam Ray.
In the Adam Ray one, there was this lady that said the N-word right before I went on stage.
yes, yeah.
And I was behind the curtain. That her whole set, because I was waiting and I was just getting ready, and she just kept going on, but she provided so much drama because every answer she gave, it was worse and worse and more ridiculous and more outlandish, because also like Tony had the skills to like pry information out of her, but instead of cutting it short, he just like dug in. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of incredible. But I think because of her, at least 1 or 2 bucket pulls never got out, but it made the show though. Right, but she took at least 10 minutes out of the show because of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel for those comics out there, that because I know as being another fellow creative, you're always pushing, you're working hard and everything. But you're right, it does make the show at the same time, but it can be a way. You know what I'm saying? It could be, it makes the show, but then it could be a waste for other comics. But I feel for the creative person that's like you, that really put their heart.
I feel for them too, but I guess if I was in the producer role, there's comedians, you're gonna have them next week. You care a little less. You just want a good show on that day.
Yeah.
And you want to make it as good as possible. So the fact that there's drama, then that's that's something that's gonna be clipped, talked about. It's gonna make a buzz.
Oh yeah, and I already see, because I'm in the Kill Tony Facebook group, which I see you are a lot on too. And
well, I had a friend invite me, Chris, the guy from Thanos. Like, let me get in that group, so at least I see what people are saying about me.
They love you.
Well, I mean, so far.
So far, you're so.
Let's see. Yeah.
They love you, and they love Celia too. They do love you. But that group it's interesting. I love kind of going into those groups and not making appearance sometimes, because I do like reading the comments, but I see how it's a little community over there.
Well, I mean, for me it was something new, so like I thought I should because like I had very few followers before getting on Kill Tony, and it just multiplied thanks to this. And I thought, well, I should get involved now at the beginning, like show the community that I actually care and that I'm present. I don't think in the long run I can take it, because there's just so many notifications on my phone. But it's been fun to be part of it and to see, like, even when it's not good things or people are trolling a little bit, I think it's still relevant to have an idea of where people are and what I'm doing and how to navigate this new world and see where it takes me.
No, you're right. Now I have a question for you about your trip to. What do you? Be honest. What do you think about Americans?
So I mean, I've traveled to the U.S. a lot since I'm a teenager, right? Okay. I've visited 27 states now.
Okay. Oh wow, 27 states.
Yeah, I haven't done the middle because sorry about the middle, guys, but you're on my bucket list. I'll get there. But I think they're great people. There's just very welcoming culture, great decadent food. People are more educated than we give them credit for.
Oh,
people can also be way less educated than we imagine they would be. So you have both things. Not all Americans are stupid. That's a very and not all Americans are just either just radical Trump supporters or whatever they are. I'm not saying you cannot be a Trump supporter if that floats your boat, but people are not mindless. People are educated. A lot of people have gone to really good schools. And it's a huge population composed of a huge portion of immigrants who also like bring in influences and education from abroad. So I think it's a nice mix of cultures. It's easy to travel through it. It's easy to move around. There is opportunity, but there is surprising disparity in wealth in the US.
Surprising disparity. Okay, I know what you're talking
about. Yeah,
like
people that are struggling are really left behind, and that's a bit sad to see.
Yeah, certain places, you're right about that. Yeah.